Welcome. Chris here with the trades. Going to go over nine stocks, nine tickers that I'm looking for swing trades long for the next week ahead. First and foremost, I'm looking at stocks that have strong fundamentals that look good for long-term investments, long-term holds, and then I'm looking for an entry. So I'm looking for a pullback in price into a natural level of support to take the long. Looking here at the SPY, this is the market. Obviously, we reached all-time highs several times here over the last few weeks, breaking through the previous high. Looking to see if maybe it wants to come back and test this level here from middle of May, 749 and a half. See if maybe it wants to come back down and test that level for a continuation up. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the market and many of these stocks come on down a little bit here. It's obviously pretty extended. So first one on my list is Google. Google is obviously a strong stock. It's been going up for a while, pulled back, ramped back up, got a little gap here from a few weeks back, and now it's pulling back down. I'd like to see it come down a little further, maybe test this gap into this area here at 360. But this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a strong stock like Google. I'm looking for a pullback in price, and then I'm trying to see if the stochastic is down at the low part of the band. That's what I'm looking for, as well as a relaxing of the price level into this natural level of support, which is designated by this green sort of band in the chart. So I'm looking to see if it wants to come down a little further from here, see where we open on Monday. But I'm going to be a buyer down into this level here, into this gap, perhaps about 5 or 6%, looking for the move back up to see if we can capture some moves on the way up if it wants to do that. So Google is the first one on my list, looking good. Also, looking at none other than Nvidia. I've been trading this one a bit. As you can see, these red lines are my exits, my price, the price that I've exited. And as it's come back down, I've entered here and here at these green lines. Looking to see if it wants to come down a little further than that. I'd be a buyer down into this range. Stochastic is nice and low as it did last time. Went down, popped back up, took some profits on the way up. It's coming back down. Is it going to do it again? We shall see. See where we open on Monday. I'm going to be a buyer into this range here, 7 or 8%. Going to average in slowly, but I'm looking for the move back up into these ranges here, up into these highs, 3, 4, or 5%. Going to start taking some profits if it wants to run up to here again into the 10, 11% range. Be happy with that. Start taking profits on the way up. So Nvidia also on the list. Also on the list is XLE, the energy ETF. Definitely was buying this one on the way down. I held it actually through this sort of break of structure, but sure enough, it popped back up, took the profits, exited my position here. It came back down, bought it again, sold it as well on the way back up. Now it's testing once again. Will it do it again? Don't know, but this is what I'm looking for. A pullback into this natural level of support, certainly down into this range here where we had these wicks, and the stochastic is hard and fast moving back down. I like to see that. That tells me what I'm looking for on an entry. So I'll, risk wise, be down into about this range here, 2 or 3%. Potentially could hold down into this low wick back here from a few weeks ago. That's only 5% or so. So I'm going to see where it wants to open on Monday. Be very happy if it wants to come back down a little bit lower than that. But of course, on the way back up, I'd be taking profits slowly and consistently on the way back up into these levels here, 7, 8%. Chart's a little deceiving. The range isn't that high. It's run up a while. It's run up a bit over the last while in time. So wouldn't be surprised to see it come on back down and completely fail. If that's the case, like any of these, then I will just get out, reevaluate, take the small loss, and hold on to my cash to find another and better opportunity. But XLE looks good to me for the week ahead. Also on the list, I'm looking at Pump, another energy stock. Been running up for a while. Been looking real good. A lot of entries on these low points of the stochastic here, 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 back here as well, and it's looking like it's doing it once again. Of course, we don't know if it will continue this trend and continue to follow this sort of pattern, but that's the name of the game here. It's just looking at probabilities and opportunities. So risk wise, I'm going to be a buyer into this range here, 7 or 8%. If it wants to fail, again, I'll just get out and reevaluate. But I like this green doji candle on Friday, looking like it maybe wants to turn around. So I've been looking to take profits up into this 5, 10% range, as well as holding some to this double top almost 20%. So that's an opportunity that I'm interested in. Low risk to reward. So pump also on the list is CI, Cigna. It's been all over the place, but according to the chart, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a pullback into this natural level of support, stochastic down in the low band, very low on that band, and that's what I'm interested in. This is an overall strong stock fundamental wise. So risk down into this level here, 3-4%. Pretty good. I like that. And I'll be looking to take some profits on the way up. If it wants to break up into these highs from last week and continue up, I'm going to be taking profits on the way up, getting out if it breaks below this level here. Also on the list, OSCR, OSCR, Oscar. Okay, Oscar Health pushed way up, hard and fast. I like to see that, but I'm not going to go chasing after it. I like this candle on Friday. It wicked, found some support, moved back up, and looks primed for a continuation. Of course, risk is the main question. It's pretty wide, so I'm going to have to start in slow. If it wants to come down and test this level here, where we've got this natural level of support, I'm going to scale in slowly, of course, giving it room to run. Stochastic still has some room to come down, I would say, as well. So wouldn't be surprised to see this come down a little further. Gonna have to be patient with this one and looking for the opportunity to see where and if it wants to run up. I would be looking at profits in this range here, 5-6%, based on this high from several months back. Of course, holding some if it wants to test the most recent highs. So OSCR, also on the list. ZVIA, okay. ZVIA, this is a little bit of a different call for me on this one. It's come straight down, trending down. It did break structure and come and test these low levels here, these lower price levels here, and move back up. I like to see that. That's not surprising. And it's coming back down. The stochastic tells me it's got some room to come down even further, and it does look like on the chart that this is changing overall dynamic of this chart, the overall structure, like it wants to turn bullish. That's what it looks like to me. So I'm going to be patient with this one as well. I like this candle here that looks like it's moving back up and wants to continue on the uptrend. I'm going to be going in slow. It's got a lot of risk here, a big range. Price is super deceiving. So very wide risk, very really it's a little bit of a tricky one. This is sort of a gamble. I could see it coming down a lot lower than this, and obviously if it wants to come down and test this low range, I mean that would be a 30% hold. That is large, and that is a big risk. So gonna have to start in slow on this one. I'm gonna be patient, see if it wants to move and come back up. But if it wants to come test these highs right off the bat, say on Monday, Tuesday, early in the week, if it wants to just turn around right, and show that it's moving up and moving and showing strength, obviously it's got a lot of range as well on the upside, even up into these most recent ranges is still 20-22%. So to me, this is worth paying attention to in the beginning of the week. See what happens on Monday, but going small for sure on this one. SEIC. Okay, so this one is a nice opportunity as well. It would appear there's a gap. I would like to see it. Well, I would like to see it necessarily, but I would not be surprised to see it come down and test this gap. That's also where we see a natural level of support based on this chart, sort of indicator here with this green band. So the range here on risk is about 3 or 4%. Happy with that. I'll be happy to hold through that and average in. Stochastic is nice and low, and see where we open on Monday for the risk. We'll push back up into these ranges here. We got this wick from back in June or in January, back in January, where we could see maybe it coming up and testing these highs. That would be a 3 or 4% gain. Probably not going to be looking for too much more than that, but like I like to do is hold a runner to see if it wants to keep running and just hold that one last share or two or three or whatever it is that you're dealing with for your account. But for me, I like to hold a little and see if it wants to keep running. So SEIC also on the list here. And finally, MRAM. Been real active. It's been moving straight up. Been crazy actually. MRAM's got a big push, hot stock. It's come back down hard and fast on Friday into this natural level of support. Stochastic is nice and low. I'm going to be a buyer on this one. I have been trading this one. Took some profits up here. I think my average price is about 30.5. So I'll be looking to average in on this one down to this natural level of support. It's wide. This chart is super deceiving because it's had a big run. 15 or so percent. So go in small, see where it wants to go. If it wants to keep failing and coming back down and closing this gap, probably not going to hold on to that. Probably just get out if it comes and breaks much below this level here. But I'm interested in Amaram, see where it wants to go for the week ahead. So that's what I got. 9 tickers, 9 stocks. There's a ton of opportunity. It's got them a mixed bag, some obscure ones here and some high flyers and big names as well. But that's what we're dealing with. I don't make these plans really. The chart does. I just interpret, and this is what I'm seeing for the next week, the week ahead. Happy trading.